Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the podcast, Pod Talks here with Elisa. So today we are back. We're gonna be talking about how to avoid slowing down around this time of the year. But before we get started with the topic, I want Elisa to share a little bit more about her experience because she just finished doing three bodybuilding shows, not one, not two, but three bodybuilding shows in the past few weeks, which I think is crazy because when you're in that stage in between shows, you have to be very careful with what you eat, what you drink, and everything, which mentally it's so challenging. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your experience, how you felt, and how were you able to manage, in between those times, like being away in different countries and
Yeah.
then, controlling everything that you were doing.
Yeah, so it was such a great experience. It was crazy because each of the shows were like a week apart. Except the one, so I did two where I live like back home in Australia and then one overseas. The one overseas was like about 10 days later, but still back to back. Um, it was a I've never done back to back shows. I've always had like a few weeks in between. But you know what? It was actually interesting and it was actually good because I felt like your body was kind of you're already in that mode. I feel like sometimes when you have too long between shows, you can kind of it's hard to hold that conditioning. So yeah, just back to back. It was actually interesting. A lot of my feedback, like I didn't place as well that as what I would have liked. And previously, like last year, I placed at my international show top three. But this year, I went up against really high standard of athletes, and I was actually out muscled. So my feedback from all my shows was that I needed about 4 to 5 kilos of muscle to fill out my frame. I was very, very small compared to the other girls. So if you look at my socials, you'd be like, oh, wow, like, seems to have a lot of muscle. But in the lineups compared to the other girls, I was very small, very lean. So my feedback was too lean and need to put on more size. So um, my last show was really interesting. 6 days leading up to the comp, I was carving up like 6 days of eating, trying to really fill out because that's what the judges wanted. So that was good. And it was kind of good because then I kind of reversed into the show. So that way I was able to eat a bit more because I had a holiday straight after, obviously. So that was probably the hardest part. So yeah, so now taking a longer off season to grow and try to put on as much muscle as I can. I've never taken this long off bodybuilding before. I always kind of do like back to back years. So gonna take some longer time off. But yeah, it was a great experience. Obviously, after enjoying the food and whatnot and the culture of where I was amazing. And I didn't beat myself up. Like I enjoyed it. I didn't go like stupid, but obviously I put on weight and whatnot. But it's funny, like when I came back, but just being back for 3 days, I've already dropped like 4 kilos, but it's just like water weight. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like from the flying, from the like the excess of food, all of that. So it's a good message for people as well. Like a lot of the time when you go away and you come back, the best thing to do, like I didn't come back and smash myself. I just literally got back into routine and getting back into routine, your body just naturally drops that. Like you haven't necessarily gained fat as such. A lot of it is fluid. Obviously, minimal fat gain will be there if you're doing that for a long period of time. Um, but I still trained
Mhm.
like when I was away because I love training. I feel like starting the day with my training, I felt
The
good.
same.
I was like, I've started the day right. I didn't feel as guilty. So for me, that's what I did after the comp, like still made sure that I trained and did all that, put the food to use, like, had really good sessions because I was eating a lot more. But yeah, so it was a good experience and just ready to build now. And yeah.
Yeah, you look really good. Like I was watching you on your Instagram and I was like, wow, you
Yeah.
look good. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing about bodybuilding. Like you never know who's gonna be on a stage next to you.
Just don't know. Yeah. And I actually thought I had a lot of muscle. And then looking back now and like in the lineups to the other girls, I was like, wow, I actually have a lot of growing to do,
Mm.
which is which is good, I guess, because at least it's like it's something I can work towards a new goal. I've actually never had that goal because I was always worried about putting on too much muscle for the bikini category.
Yeah.
But the bikini category has evolved and they're very dense
And
and
people changing. Or
Yeah, a lot more muscle. So now I feel like I can be a bit more fun with my training. Like I can lift the way that I want to and train harder. And yeah, so it'll be good. It'll be good.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy for you. You look really good. You felt
Thank
good. And
you.
you enjoy your time, which is the main thing. And like you said, like you didn't kill yourself coming back home
Yeah,
to a normal routine, which is what many people do, when they get back from a
yeah,
holiday, Christmas or whatever, they just want to be like, boom, straight into the routine and
straight
then
away.
remove,
Yeah.
remove this, remove that. And it's like, you're
You
just,
just got to like ease back into it and your body naturally like getting back into that routine, having that structured sleep, you'll be surprised what that does. I think people actually do worse for themselves when they come back and they like try to smash themselves and then like after the first week they're like, oh,
mm,
like so yeah, biggest advice for people when you go away on a holiday, just come back and get it back into your normal routine and you'll be surprised what your body
yeah,
does. Yeah.
take it
You'll
easy.
probably even know, like
Yeah.
when you came back from your holiday, you probably just took a few days, to get back into it slowly. Like you weren't doing anything, too over the top. Just get back into normal routine. Yeah.
Easier. Like the longer you do this with your fitness, the easier it's gonna get for you to get
Yeah.
back to that routine. But
Right.
yeah, we want to talk about, I guess, the first, like some of the reasons why people slow down around some of the year. And I think maybe the main reason is because Christmas is literally around the corner. And
Yeah.
with Christmas, there's so many like parties, events, work events,
Yes.
reunions with your friends, your family, which means it's gonna be drinks, alcohol, food. And many people have this mindset of like, I might as well just put my fitness on hold because
Yeah.
with the holiday and then I'll just get it started next year. Next year,
Yeah.
January, the New Year's resolution, it's gonna be easier for me to get back on track. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, like fitness doesn't stop, we shouldn't be
Yeah.
because your progress shouldn't be, taking holds or yeah, putting your fitness on hold or your progress on hold. Your progress continues whether or not you're doing this or doing whatever. Even if you're doing slow progress is better than no progress at
And
all.
no, yeah. And it's like people don't realize, and we've spoken about this so many times, that stopping and starting, it
Yeah.
just delays the progress. Like
Mhm.
people really got to start looking at their health and fitness as like a lifestyle change and something that needs to be done regardless. Like at the end of the day, everyone's lives are busy, especially end of the year. Like it's just how it is. But I feel like if you set your non-negotiables there, it's going to really help you. And like that's just the nature of it and the time of year. Like Christmas is busy. So I feel like a lot of people have to really sit down and even work with their coach. Like I know a lot of my girls work with me and be like, look, I've got this on the weekend and this on, and really communicating with your coach to help you try to navigate through that,
Yeah.
how to do this, like what maybe changing your plan. And a lot of people at the end of the year, they have like a little bit of a holiday or a break. So their routine's going to change already because they're not in that usual like kind of working and that real structured days. So it's all about having that communication, having that plan of attack going into the holiday season rather than just going, you know what, like you were saying, won't worry about it. Just it is what it is. I'll just get through the next few months and then start again the new year. And it's like it's going to become that vicious cycle that we talked about, that whole like new year, new me.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
like it's nice to set goals for the new year. Like I say that to like it's nice to be like, okay, this year I want to achieve this, but it should be I want to achieve something that you're already been working towards, not like a whole, I've just like totally let myself go and now I'm gonna, get back on track again. And it's like, think about it. Were you saying this the same time last year? Like, is this something that you always do? So really trying to look for those trends. Yeah.
And I had this phone call with this lady that joined my program yesterday. And then
Yeah.
on the phone call, she was like, maybe I'm just gonna wait until next year, blah blah. And I was like, yeah, you can do that, that's no problem. But you're gonna have Christmas every single year. There's gonna
Yeah.
be New Year's
Right.
every single year. You're gonna have those work parties every single year. So you're
Yeah.
gonna do this every single year, just wait
Yeah.
until this busy period is over and then get it started. And she's
Yeah.
like, actually, yeah, that you're right. It's like I want to have Christmas every year. So it's what better time to get it started than now or to
Yeah.
come with this than now. Because if anything, you're gonna learn how to navigate those events, how to
Yeah.
ensure that we still enjoy the holidays because we want to enjoy that time with our friends and family. We don't want to be, too strict, but how we can manage to ensure that we stay on track with our fitness. Yes, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit of progress, but we can still enjoy that time, those meals. And if you're going away, enjoy your holiday, whatever you're doing. But yeah, we just don't take breaks. We don't take breaks from fitness
Uh,
unless you get injured, something crazy that you have to,
yeah, like it's
yeah.
I think people just use it as an excuse. Like I was even and this was it just reminded me of like a client that I had last year, and she was saying that through that holiday period, she still kept up with like her daily walking, and she's like that really kept her on track. She's like she woke up every day, started the day, with her walks, and then she fit in like her strength training where she could. Like, but it was hard because like the kids were on holiday. But she still did it, but she's like that non-negotiable. Getting my walk done just saved her. Like getting her steps in made her feel that bit better, and it also kept her on more on track because I feel like as well, when people let the exercise side go, their nutrition can sometimes fall as well because they're just like, oh, you know what, I'm not exercising, I'm not moving, like it is whatever. So whereas I feel like when people have both, they kind of go together. So yeah, and she said she goes previously she would have never done that. Like in the holidays, she would have just totally switched off and totally let it all go. But she's like having those daily tasks that she needed to do that just made her feel that bit better. It really saved her, and she felt like her progress didn't go backwards.
Yeah.
In that time, you might not make significant progress, but at least you're not ruining all the hard work that you've done.
Yeah,
Because that's
exactly.
the sad thing as well. People ruin, they've done all this hard work that they've done throughout the year, and then the end of the year, they just let it go. And it's like, you've invested so much time, effort, money, and then it's like to just let it all go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you don't have to make progress, but you can maintain the progress that you
Yeah, that's right.
it's the main thing. And like you said, like doing little things like going for your walks or going to the gym, just making sure that you are keeping up with kind of the same routine that you usually
Yeah.
have. I think having that routine, that structure is what makes things easier for us to
Yeah.
with what we're doing. And that way, yeah, if you go to the gym or get some training done, exercise, whatever type of exercise you do, it's much easier to stay on track with your fitness, 100%. Especially if you get it done in the mornings, because you can just get it,
Yeah,
don't have to worry about it later. And then your mindset kind of like switches a little bit and you start being more mindful with the choices that you're making.
that's
Within
right.
won't go overboard or like eat too much and then go crazy and then start binging on chocolates or whatever it is. And yeah, it's just, one of those little things that you can add that will take you 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes,
Yeah, that's right.
and you can just get it done. And then you're gonna feel much better, much,
Yeah.
much stay on
I
track with what you're doing. Yeah.
think people just overcomplicate it, and it's like, and a lot of people are probably like, oh, it's hard. And, when you have families and, around the end of the years when like the kids are on school holidays and they're off too, but it's like, you've just got to make it happen. And at the end of the day, you're in control of your actions and what you do and what you fit in. And, it might even be, okay, now the kids are home, you might have to do, if you have little kids, you might have to do home workouts. Like it's just making those little changes. You know what I mean? Like I've gone away before and haven't had access to a gym, and I would just do something from home, like or something from where I could. Like there's so many options, and I feel like people just really constantly making excuses. And it's like, don't, this is a message for you guys listening. Don't derail all the progress you've made. Don't ruin all the progress you've made. Like, at least maintain it, at least do something. Whether it's just one thing, it's still going to keep you in check. It's still going to keep you in that mindset of working towards your goals.
Yeah. And I think like probably one of the second reason why people slow down around this time of the year is because sometimes when we achieve a goal, or some people achieve a goal, they might feel like, yeah, I achieved my goal, I don't need to worry about it. And we slow down a
Yeah.
little bit because you no longer have that motivation, that drive that
Yeah.
you started with your fitness journey. Let's say at the beginning you were overweight or you didn't feel comfortable about your body, you didn't like your tummy, you didn't like your arms, your legs. So you had that drive inside you that you were like, yeah, I need to
Yeah.
get it done, and you give your 100%, you prove yourself that you can get it done. But then once you achieve that goal, it's like, yeah, okay, it's, I achieved that goal, I look great, I feel great. And that's why boom, people start slowing down. And it's
Yeah.
like slowly go back to where you are. Why? Because you no longer have that drive, that motivation,
Yeah, that's right.
that push inside you to like keep going. And
Yeah.
yeah, in Christmas, yeah, I already have the body. I don't need to work harder anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just gonna
And
enjoy it.
that's the worst thing you can do. Yeah. And it's like it's if it was that easy, like everyone would do it. But unfortunately, like the reality is once you get to your goal, the hardest part is
I
maintaining that. And I see this time and time again, like frequent yo-yo dieters, like those ones that they like will drop heaps of weight, they get to their goal and they're like, I'm good now. Like I'm just gonna go off and kind of go back to what they would call like normal. And it's like they just go back to their old habits. And it's like you really got to try and this is why like you and I both really preach this. Like you've got to make your journey, especially for like lifestyle clients who obviously don't have a goal of like competing or whatnot, just general, you've got to make it part of your life where you're still enjoying balance. You're still able to have a social life. You're still able to enjoy meals out so that you can get through these periods where there's so many social events. If you don't do that during the year and you've been so super strict and not gone anywhere, not have it, once you get that taste, your body's just going to, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I think people really need to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and I think like something that can help you guys with this, if you feel like you have achieved all your goals and you have nothing to look forward to, set new goals. Like you
Yeah,
can
that's right.
any time of the year. Like you don't have to just wait for January, New Year's to set a new goal.
Yeah,
You can literally set a goal any time of the year. And like for the next 2 months in 1 week that we have left of 2024, your goal can be something as simple as I want to make sure that I get my trainings done 3 times.
yeah,
I want to make sure that I stay consistent with my meal plan, whatever it is, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I'm gonna drop 20
yeah.
10 kgs. Something simple, like the basic things that are gonna help you reach those goals, like the daily actions that
Yeah.
you do to help
And
you
I
get.
and I love what you said there, how you went to like a goal that's not number focused.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be. I feel like when people think of goals, they're always like, this is how much weight I have to lose, or this, like you said, the goal could be just showing up, just committing to workouts. You know what I mean? Like I even had, and it's funny you said, I even had one client, she's like, I really want to, and this is like a good mindset. She's like, I really want to make sure that I still get my workouts in even over the Christmas break. Like you said, it's little goals like that. They don't have to be like physical. It can be mental, it can be just like you said, just having a some sort of non-negotiable plan in place.
Mhm.
So yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be scale focused.
it's
Yeah,
something like, I want to make sure that I make time for myself.
yeah,
You have kids, if you have a family, if you're looking after someone, it's much easier to forget about yourself and then put
yeah,
them your priority. But then we know that if you don't prioritize yourself, you're not gonna feel good. You're not gonna be able to give them that energy. You're not gonna be able to feel your best. You might be, feeling grumpy, feeling angry, and it just doesn't help at all. Like being selfish is a good thing, and I think that's something we always say. It doesn't mean you have to be 100% selfish, but it just means
yeah,
in the way that you need to prioritize yourself. Because when
yeah.
you're gonna prioritize your health, you're gonna prioritize your well-being, you're gonna prioritize your mindset, and you're gonna be feeling much better. And that was gonna help you be a better person for yourself and
Exactly. And for your family, like I know even myself, like if I didn't have my workouts or that ability to work out, I would be so angry all the time, like and grumpy because like it's something that I love, and it makes me happy and just starting my day. Like it's funny, like even when I went back to work, someone said to me, they're like, oh, you didn't get up and go to the gym now, like this morning, did you? And I said, like, they thought because comp's over, like, that's it. And I was like, yeah, of course I did. Like, I got up, I trained. It's like, my goals are all year round. You've got to have, and it's like, you shouldn't be, and this is what we say to people as well, you shouldn't be just training for that event. Like, oh, I just want to look good for that, in that dress for that wedding or for this event. It's like, you should be doing this for yourself and for the journey of, making sure that it's a part of your life,
yeah.
So,
And that reminds me, one of my clients, I was talking to her last week about this. It's a little bit different, but kind of the same. She's now being more mindful with her choices, like with her nutrition. Before, she was not mindful at all. She would just snack, especially at
yeah,
work, with plenty of snacks. So she would just eat whatever. But now that she's been in my program for about 4 months, she's been like really mindful with the things that she's eating. And she told me, Nani, like I can now see people at my work, they don't care about what they eat. They
mm,
make random choices. And now that I am aware of the choices that I'm making, it's really
yeah,
easy to see how people treat their bodies. And now
yeah,
not like that's the point that we're trying to do. Like that's the point that we want to get to. You
That's
realize that what you were
that
doing before was
self-awareness.
exactly
Yeah,
awareness, and she can now see in other people. And obviously, as much as she can advise them and try to help them, if you don't want that help, you won't take that help. But
yeah,
it's nice for her to be self-aware and now be more mindful with what she's making, the choice that she makes.
yeah.
And that brings me to my next point that another reason why people slow down around this time of the year is because sometimes we get brainwashed by the people around us, whether it's
Mm.
work, friends, whatever, but people around you, and they might tell you like, what are you doing? Like, just chill, slow down. It's
Yeah,
very soon. What are you training for? Like, are you getting ready for something? Just you never
yeah, yeah.
on top of your fitness, just like slow down, you can do it next year. Or they might start telling you like I'm so busy, blah blah blah. And they might, brainwash you into the idea of, maybe they're right. Like maybe I need to slow down a little bit. Maybe I should just push a little bit more next year, 2025,
Yeah,
New Year's resolution. And it's like, no, we don't get brainwashed. Like, don't get brainwashed by
yeah,
anyone. Like this is your goal. We are the way that we are for a reason. We prioritize ourselves for a reason. If we start listening to those people and if we start doing the things that they are doing, then we're gonna become like them. And I'm
that's
sure
right.
you know yourself.
Yeah. And like who are those people going to be there for you when you're old and frail and you can't move and you're sick all the time or you're aging so much because you're not looking after yourself. It's like people don't think of these other factors. Like people can say so much to you. It's like, but are they going to be there when you're in a bad position because you weren't looking after yourself, because you were listening to them? Like so many this is the thing with like social media and the internet too. There's so much awareness now out there of they're really pushing like the importance of strength training for like mobility and elderly and like your joints and all of that. Like it's not just about the physical. And it's like people really need to take on this education and be like, okay, what's something that I can work towards a goal that like for life, you know what I mean? And not let these people get into your head that, oh, like, what are you doing this for? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yes, we want to train to look good, but we're also doing it to prolong and longevity and health and all of those other things. So I think it's hard because if there's other people that don't look at it like that, they can easily just brainwash you and be like, oh, like why are you doing that? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
like you've lost so much weight. Like why are you still, you're at your goal now, like why are you still stressing? Why are you still doing this? And it's like people really need to be more educated, I think, on the benefits of, having a more health and a holistic approach to their life.
Yeah. Even like some of my family, like they still tell me like, Danny, are you still prepping your meals? Like, are you still going to the
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's the question. Like, that's just part of
Yeah.
my life. That's my lifestyle.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
they just ask because for them, that's not normal. They're used to a different lifestyle. They
Yeah.
take time to prep their meals, go to the gym, get the trainings done. So when they see that, they're like, oh, is she getting ready for something? No, just for life.
That's
I'm just
just that's
ready
just
to
how it
get,
is. Yeah.
yeah, there's no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to have something to get ready for, like a wedding or like a show,
Right.
anything. It's just,
Like I prep all year round my meals no matter what I'm doing. Like it's just even my husband, like he doesn't compete, but he's got prepped meals every day. It's like it's just what we do to make sure that we stay on track. And do you know what I say to people all the time? It's so much easier, you know,
Mhm.
like having those, but like that's another thing as well. I'm like to people, it's not just about feeling good when I meal prep, it's about the convenience. Like I have a busy lifestyle, you have a busy lifestyle. Like it's so easy to just prep for the week, grab and go, rather than me frantically trying to prep the night before, the morning of. Like my meals are done and that's it. So I don't think people really understand that side as well of meal prepping. Like it's not just about being healthy, but it's about the convenience. Like it's so much easier, you know? Like,
And it's funny to me when people say like, I don't have time to prep my meals. But then they're
yeah,
like, yeah, but I get takeaways or I go to the supermarket,
yeah.
prep whatever. So my mom
Or
like,
they're cooking every night. And
yeah,
it's like, well, like, yeah, I don't know. I
yeah,
just think,
it's crazy. And yeah, another reason that I think why people slow down, it's because maybe they have too much going on in their personal life, maybe with
yeah,
work, nothing to do with Christmas, but just things going on in their personal life with family,
yeah,
relationship
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. And
yeah,
yeah, people use that as an excuse to slow down because, there's just too
yeah.
much going on in my personal life. I don't have time to focus on my
Mm.
So I'm just gonna put it on hold now or slow down a little bit. Once things
Yeah.
pick up, I'll get back on track. But it's
Yeah.
you just gotta keep going, especially if you have personal things going on. I feel like that's probably the best time to do something about your fitness
Yeah, exactly.
mentally and not be
I was
thinking.
I was just about to say that. Like, you mean, I was like, when these times, or when you are going through these times, the best thing to do is exercise because it just really helps you mentally. You know what I mean? And you're so right. People just say, I've got too much going on, too much on my plate, I can't do it. And it's like, you know what? These are going to come up so much in your life. Like, especially, with the busyness and the go, go, go of our lives and work and family and doing this, like there's probably never going to be a time where your life's just smooth sailing. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And it's like, so you've got to really adopt the strategies and the right mindset of trying to make it a part of your lifestyle no matter what. Um, but yeah, it's really sad to see people that constantly do this, or they go really well for the few months and then something happens, they get really busy at work or something, and they're just like, I can't do it anymore. So not realizing that having that will actually help you mentally, like you were saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, just anyone listening that's struggling and they're going through stuff, like you'll be surprised what exercise can do, what getting out, going for a walk can do. So
Yeah, I think you guys gotta remember, like we all struggle. We might
yeah,
not show it all the time, but we all struggle.
yeah,
We all have different things going on. But that doesn't mean that every time we're struggling with something behind the scenes, we have to stop with our fitness completely.
yeah.
We have to
That's
stop looking after ourselves because when you stop with your fitness, you stop looking after yourself and your health. So it's
yeah.
don't do that to yourself. And again, we repeat this to you guys every single time. Don't do that.
Cycle. Yeah.
That
Vicious
cycle.
cycle. It just upsets me. I see so many people and I'm like, they do the same thing every year. Like it's like they'll have a few months of the year where they really dedicate to it and then boom, they're off and they're like, nah, it's too much. And it's like, just do it. Like just make it a part of your life. That's it. Otherwise you're never going to truly get the results that you want. And it's like, what's harder? Like you taking out the time to fit in exercise, or like I would think harder, the more that you struggle with would be like being unhappy, being overweight, feeling sluggish all the time, feeling depressed. Oh, I don't want to wear this. I can't fit into this. I don't feel good about myself. That to me is a lot harder going through those emotions and those daily thoughts than just making time to do it. But I think this is a thing as well. Not enough people are aware that you don't actually need 3 to 4 hours a day to
Mhm.
dedicate to it. It can be, like you were saying before, as simple as 30 minutes a day, just dedicating to yourself. Like that's nothing out of your day. If you don't have 30 minutes a day, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, like, you have time
Yeah.
to scroll on social media, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You have
Yeah.
time. Or just get up and go for a walk, just stay active, do something. But if you're just scrolling, scrolling,
Yeah.
scrolling, you tell yourself, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the video that I'm posting later is exactly that. Like I've made it before and it was like, I don't have the time, and then check your screen time.
Yeah.
It's how many people would be scrolling, or, like I was even saying to one of my clients, like a good thing as well, like if you love a series or you love watching TV, maybe it's going to be you working out whilst you're watching that in front of the, like if that's what it takes, if you don't want to miss out. Or I know some people, they do their cardio and they're watching Netflix on their phone, like whatever it is. If you don't want to miss out on those things, like for me, like TV is not important. I don't, but for some people, they love their series, they love their soap operas, they love watching those movies. So it's all about, you can still have that, but just try to fit in exercise whilst you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so many ways around.
That,
So
yeah, you can go on the treadmill and put your phone right there or go for a walk and
yeah,
whatever. It might not be the same,
your
but
podcast, yeah.
you're doing something.
Listen to Daniela's podcast while you're walking, like
So, yeah, I think the best
that's
thing
it.
you guys can do is always suggest set new goals. Don't wait until
Yeah,
next. Make sure you have a good routine. Still follow your routine. Yes, you might need to change a few things here and there, but have a routine because routine and structure, it's literally everything.
Yeah.
Stay on the progress that you're making, not just on the end outcome. Slow progress, it's gonna be much better than no progress at all. So even if you're just maintaining, that's 100% much better than putting your fitness on hold and
Yeah.
then back next year. Get your workouts done because that will set you up for success. Because when you get your workouts done, it's much easier to be more mindful with the choices that you're doing with your nutrition. And just remember that you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not doing this for anyone else. You're not doing this for your partner or your kids. You're literally doing this for yourself. So
Yeah.
just get it done.
Yes, done. That's it. Commit to it. Commit to it all year round. Otherwise, you're never going to enjoy the process as well. I feel like people don't realize you're going to enjoy it more when you see the results. But if you're constantly setting yourself back, you're not going to see the results and then you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to enjoy it. So really keeping that in mind too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So remember a few reasons why sometimes we slow down, or you might be slowing down around some of the year. It's because maybe people around you are brainwashing you that
Yeah.
it's slow down and you shouldn't continue with your fitness. Maybe because you have reached your goal and you have lost that motivation. Maybe because Christmas is coming up and you feel like now it's the time to slow down because you want to enjoy the Christmas season. Or maybe because you just don't have anything to look forward to anymore, like with your fitness and all this something too much going on with your personal life. And
Yeah.
again, I feel like we're gonna say this every single podcast. We don't need to put our fitness on hold. We just have to
Yeah.
continue and just find a way to make it work. That's all we have to. But yeah, is there anything else you want to mention before we go?
No, like I think we like covered everything and it's just if you're listening to this, you know, make the change, make a commitment to it all year round. And this might be like a reason for you to reach out for help. If you're someone that, I just can't do it, I can't stick to it. I always fall off this time of year, reach out for help. This is where having that accountability is important. You know what I mean? Because there's no shame in having to be accountable. So if you're someone that is struggling, reach out and just get the help that you need to really guide you in the right direction.
Mhm. 100%. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it on your social media. Tag me and Elisa. Until next time. And don't forget not to put your fitness on hold. And as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao, ciao.